Hello students, welcome to part 1 of how to program the video game Dog's Dinner using Scratch 2.0. So you've logged in, you've clicked on the create button. So in the top left hand corner, let's type in our file name. So we're going to call it Dog's Dinner. Dog's Dinner. Now Dog's Dinner is a platform game, much like the Super Mario franchise games. In this type of game, the player's character jumps from platform to platform, collecting goodies and avoiding enemies and traps. The key to success is timing your jumps perfectly so you stay alive in the game. The dog likes bones, but hates junk food. Steer him through 3 levels, jumping from platform to platform. Collect all the tasty bones on the stage, and then go through the portal to the next level. Make sure he avoids the unhealthy cakes, cheese puffs, and donuts. So this is quite a complicated game that you're going to build. So you'll need to check your work carefully at every stage. But don't worry, the project builds gradually, one step at a time. So just go slowly. Start by getting a very simple player sprite to work properly with a platform. At first, the player is just a red square. This makes it easy to sense collisions with the platform. Okay, so in the sprites list, let's click on the paintbrush. And we're going to paint a new sprite. In the bottom right hand corner, please make sure that you are in bitmap mode. From the left hand panel toolbar, we're going to click on rectangle, and then we're going to make sure that the rectangle is a filled in rectangle, and we're going to choose red as our main color. Okay, so when you draw the rectangle, you're actually going to draw a square. So to ensure that you're drawing a square, make sure you hold the shift key. It's going to be quite a small square, and I want you to draw it near the center of your paint editor. So I'm going to start. I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to draw a square, a fairly small square. And then once you finish drawing, you can let go of the shift key and then click outside of the rectangle you just created. Now here in the costumes list, you'll see a size here, and I want you to aim for 35 by 35. Now I was able to draw it exactly 35 by 35. So if it's not 35 by 35, if it's too big or too small, go up here to undo, and then try it again. Remember, hold the shift key, pull out, and then draw your square. Click outside of the square to see its size. So this one I drew 36 by 36. So I'm going to draw one more here. I'm going to try to get it exactly 35 by 35. Click outside of it, and this one I actually drew it bigger, 37 by 37. Now you can keep deleting, undoing, and keep trying to draw it to get it exactly 35 by 35, but there is another technique that will work. If you click on the select tool here, okay, and then what you want to do is you want to draw a nice square around the square that you have drawn. So you've selected that square, and it should now give you the control points around the outside of that square. So now I want you can adjust your square, the size of your square, by pulling out to expand or pushing in to shrink. So because mine is 37 by 37 and I want to get it to 35 by 35, I'm going to have to push in. So I'm going to push in from one of these control points, and you should notice that the square is getting smaller. So if I want to check the size, I'm going to click outside of that square, okay, and let's see if it adjusted here. Okay. So sometimes I've found that it doesn't quite reflect the changes here. So it might be better just to undo. Let's see here. Let's see if I can try that again. Yeah. So this is what I found the last time that I was practicing. So it might be better just to undo and then just to draw it again. Okay. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to try to draw my 35 by 35 square and see. So 37 by 37. So again, this might take you a while. That's okay. Just again, go slowly. Get it to be as close to 35 as possible. So I keep drawing the same square over and over, 37 by 37. Let's see if I can draw it a bit smaller. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave it at 37 by 37. I'm not having, other than the first time that I drew it when I was exactly right at 35 by 35, I'm going to leave it at 37 by 37. Okay? All right, so in the top right-hand corner, let's click on Set Costume Center. So this time, I don't want you to click right in the center of your square. I want you to just kind of hover a little bit higher than the center of your square. Okay? Still in terms of left, right, I want you to center it vertically, but horizontally, I want you to kind of click towards the top edge. Okay? This is going to help us later. All right, so let's rename this sprite. So let's click on the eye. And what we're going to do is we're going to rename it player block. Player block. Okay, and then we'll click back. And then what I want to do is I want to delete sprite 1. So I'm going to click on sprite 1. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose delete. Okay, so let's build a little test platform here. So let's click on paint, a new sprite. Okay, this time we're going to click on, make sure we're in bitmap mode. We're going to click on the rectangle again. We're going to make sure that it's a filled in rectangle in the bottom left hand corner. And then this time let's choose a darker blue. Okay, so I want you to create a platform that looks like this. So we're not going to go all the way across the paint editor. Do not hold the shift key this time. So I want you to leave a little bit of room on the right edge of the paint editor and the left edge. Don't go all the way across the space that you're provided. And then we're going to create a little obstacle here, a block here, and then a block here. Okay, roughly the same height. They don't have to be exactly the same size. Okay. All right, so I'm going to click outside of the shape that I just drew, and you should see your objects here, okay, in the stage. So I can just kind of position these objects on the stage, and then what I want to do is I want to make sure that the player block sits between these two obstacles, okay? Not right on the platform, but not above the platform where it's above the obstacles. So it's kind of floating above the platform between the two obstacles, okay? Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm on this newly created sprite, and I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to click on the I button, and I'm going to rename it as platforms. Platforms. Okay? And I'm going to go back. Okay. The next step is to make the player block run when the player presses the arrow keys, the left and the right arrow keys. Okay? All right. So we want to make sure that we're clicked on the player block sprite, and we're going to click on the scripts tab. Okay? All right. So we're going to go down to the dark purple more blocks. So let's click on more blocks. And let's make a new block. So make a block. Okay, so in here, when you make a new block, you've got the cursor, the flashing cursor inside this purple block. So I want you to type in run control. So this is the new block that we're creating. It's called run controls. And then click OK. Okay, so now that we've done that, a new block appears kind of in our scripts area called define run controls. So we've created a block called run controls, but the computer doesn't know what run controls means. So that's what we're going to do, is to define it. Okay, so I'm going to place this near the top. Okay, so let's build some scripts. So let's click on the control blocks. Let's grab two if-then blocks. Two if-then blocks. And I'm going to separate them. Okay. Let's go to the light blue sensing blocks, and let's grab a key pressed block and place it in the top arm of the top if then block. And I'm going to grab another key pressed block and place it in the top arm of the second if then block. So the first situation is we're going to click on the right arrow. And then for this one, we're going to do the opposite, the left arrow. All right, so let's go to the motion blocks. Let's grab two change x by. I'm going to place it inside the top if then block. And I'm going to grab another change x by and put it inside the bottom if then block. All right, so the top one, change x by what? Let's go to the data blocks and let's make a new variable. So let's click on make a variable. And the variable name is going to be called run speed. Run speed. Click OK. We're going to uncheck run speed so that it does not show on our stage. So we're going to uncheck run speed. All right, let's grab the run speed block and place it in this first change x by block up here. All right, so for this one, for the second one, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to grab the operators blocks and I'm going to grab a minus block. Okay. In the left hole of the minus block, we're going to manually type in 0. And then for the right side of the subtraction statement, we're going to go back to the data blocks and we're going to click on run speed and we're going to place that in the right side of the subtraction statement. Then I'm going to grab the subtraction block and place it inside the change x by block. Okay, so these two if-then blocks look very similar except for this portion here. All right, let's go back to control and let's grab two more if-then blocks, if-then and if-then. We're going to place them a little bit away here. We're going to work on them separately. Okay. All right, so let's go to the sensing blocks. So let's grab two touching blocks and place them inside the if-then blocks, the new if-then blocks. Okay, so both of these are going to be set to if touching platforms. Remember, platforms is this that we've created. If touching platforms. Okay, then let's go back to motion. We're going to grab two change x by blocks. And this time we're going to reverse it. So in the bottom one here, it's going to be change x by, we're going to go to the data blocks, and let's grab a run speed block. So you see what I mean when it's reversed? Because in this situation, it was change x by 0 minus run speed, and now it's going to be change x by run speed. So this one, for the top one, we're going to reverse this one. So let's grab an operators block, a subtraction block. In the left hole of the subtraction block, we're going to type in 0. And then for the right side of the subtraction statement, we're going to go back to data and we're going to grab run speed. Okay? And then we're going to place this subtraction block inside the change x by. Okay. So now it's just a matter of moving these if-then blocks into these if-then blocks. So I'm going to grab the first if-then block and put it inside the first if-then block underneath change x by. So just be careful on where you put that if-then block. It has to look exactly like this, okay? Be very careful. And then the second if-then block is going to go into this if-then block underneath the change x by. Okay? All right, let's attach these two if-then blocks together. And then let's attach the two if-then blocks to the define run controls. So this is its own program here called run controls. Whenever we see the block run controls, this is what it means. So I'm going to place this define run controls near the bottom of my script area. Okay, so now I'm going to create a small script, okay, to activate this script. So I'm going to go to the events blocks, and of course I'm going to grab a when the green flag is clicked. I'm going to go to data, and I'm going to get a set to, and we're going to set run speed to 5. Set run speed to 5. I'm going to go to the control blocks, and I'm going to grab a forever block. Forever. And then let's go to the more blocks, the dark purple more blocks, and we're going to grab a run controls. So once we click on the green flag, okay, it's going to set the run speed to 5, and then it's going to continuously run this set of programs here. Okay, so let's go to File, Save. Haven't done that. File, Save. So now when we run the program, we should be able to control this red player block left and right. But it should be able to detect a collision with the obstacle and stop. So if I click on the green flag, and I use my left and right arrows, okay, I should be able to move left and right very easily. But then once I hit an obstacle, I should be stopped. Okay, it should stop me from going. Now again, if your player block is too high and it's not hitting the obstacles at all, then move it down a little bit. Okay, and then test it in here. Okay, So what we're doing is we're testing for the collision detection. All right, so if it's working, let's go to File, Save Now. So this concludes part 1 of the video game project Dog's Dinner. Thanks for watching. Bye.